Hello, friends. This is Michael Rush. As you can imagine, I've been getting quite a few requests to share my thoughts with what's going on election-wise, Ezra Eagle wise. And so making this video for just that. So the prophecy of Ezra Eagle. In that prophecy, we have 20 feathers, and 8 of those feathers are short. And all of the questions are, is the prophecy still on track given what's going on with President Trump? So let's review, these 8 feathers. So the first 2 short feathers were JFK and Richard Nixon. They were removed from office by contrary events and by the intervention of the deep state. What the prophecy says is that when we see the second of these feathers removed from office, then we'll know that we're approaching the midpoint of the timeline. In other words, when we see Richard Nixon leaving office, we know that that is about halfway through this list of feathers. So now we get to the end of the first 14 feathers, and now we have a series of 6 additional short feathers. The first of which is Donald Trump, the current president. So according to the prophecy, he will be removed from office by the unnatural means. In other words, by the intervention of the deep state. So the question that most people are asking me is, hey, if Biden wins this, what does this mean for Ezra Eagle? And I'll say this: if Biden wins this election legitimately, it means I got Ezra Eagle wrong. But I don't think that's what's happening here. If you're paying attention to the news, if you were paying attention on election night, you're seeing that there are some very interesting anomalies happening surrounding this election. And there are now many lawsuits that have been filed, alleging election fraud, the fact that partisan observers were in many instances not allowed. In some instances, you had observers that were locked into closets. You had windows that were boarded up so that the observers were forced outside, and then the windows were obscured so that they could not see what was happening inside. None of these things happen in a normal, straight up election process. So what do I think is going on here? Well, I think that we're seeing the intervention of the deep state. The deep state has been working 50 ways to Sunday to remove President Trump from office. And, this is the latest attempt to do that. So there's the only way we're really going to know how this all plays out is to witness it. And everything is clear in hindsight, but there's a couple of scenarios that could go on here, and I'd like to, put forward what I think may happen as a result of this. So you have lawsuits in Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, Pennsylvania. I think that these are ultimately all going to go to the Supreme Court. But this isn't going to be a fast process. The Pennsylvania, there is a lawsuit already from Pennsylvania that is before the Supreme Court the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania, not of the United States, had ordered that they were to segregate certain ballots that were coming in after the fact from those that came in when they should have. And it seems like that may not be happening. Then we have these, software that's tabulating votes, glitching out, assigning different, votes that were Republican votes to Democrat candidates. There's just a lot of unusual activity. So you have a scenario where we come to January 20th and we still do not have a resolution as to what happened in this election. What happens in that scenario? Well, in that scenario, the new president, or there would be an interim president of the United States, and it would not be Trump, nor would it be Biden. It would be the Speaker of the House. Now, the Speaker of the House would then oversee things until this could be resolved. And if it is not resolved through the Electoral College, then, the Electoral College gets thrown out, and there is, from a constitutional perspective, a backup plan in place. And what that backup plan is that Congress determines who the president and vice president will be. Each state gets one vote, and that vote is determined by what the majority of representatives, the party that has the majority in that state. So, when you look at an electoral map, and I haven't seen one of these since, the election. I think there's still some areas that are in place, so we don't know how this is all going to shake out. But if, like California, they have more Democrat representatives than they have Republican representatives. So California would have one vote, and that vote would be for the Democrat candidate. Utah has more Republican candidates than it has Democrat candidates. So it would be one vote for the Republican candidate. And that's how the president would be determined. And then the Senate would, in a similar way, vote for the vice president. And that's how you would have two candidates that would then be put forward to be the president and vice president. So under this scenario, what does Ezra Eagle say? So Ezra Eagle says that President Trump's candidacy will be cut short by the intervention of secret combinations, the deep state. And then the president that serves after him will serve less time than him. So if things continue to play out the way that they're looking right now, it looks like President Trump is going to be in office for 4 years. So the next president is going to be in less time for that than that. Now, if we have this scenario where we're pushed up to January 20th and we don't have resolution on all of these lawsuits, well, then we've got an interim president, Speaker of the House, and that Speaker of the House will serve less than President Trump. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because that Speaker of the House is going to have to oversee the election process, assuming that the Electoral College process is just beyond resolution. You throw that out and you go to the next process. So then you'll have two candidates that are put forward to the American people as this is going to be the president and this is going to be the vice president. What Ezra Eagle says is that you will have two people who will think in their hearts, okay, we're going to become president. But they're removed by the deep state. The largest of the three eagle heads awakes and devours these. So they're selected to become president. In this instance, you have both a president and a vice president candidate that are put forward, and they're both eliminated before they have a chance in what appears to me to be a catastrophic event. So, to answer your the many questions that I've been getting on this, I think that we are seeing Ezra Eagle unfold right now. The election, the contested results, that is the unfolding of this process. And if I'm correct on this, then we are going to be seeing these events unfold very quickly. So those are my thoughts on this right now. Time is going to demonstrate to us whether my interpretation of Ezra's Eagle is correct or not. Based off of everything that I'm seeing, I'm not seeing anything that shakes my confidence in that prophecy at all. In fact, I think it's astounding. So it said that the candidacy of President Trump would be cut short, and look at what's happened. Not from the beginning of President Trump's candidacy to now, and I mean, this is the most bizarre election I think we've ever seen, and it's not coincidence. This is not all of these things within Ezra's Eagle are not coincidental. It's not coincidental that FDR served twice as long as everybody else, and before the end of his fourth term in office, the 22nd Amendment was passed to prohibit anyone else from serving more than half as long as he did. It's not coincidental that there were two presidents whose administrations were cut short right at the halfway point through this series of presidents. And what we're seeing going on right now is not coincidental. So hang on, buckle up. I think that we're just getting going. And I think we're going to be in for the long haul with this. But just know that the Lord saw all of this. He saw it happen thousands of years ago. Before the world was created, he saw this. He knew what was happening. And we've been prepared for this. And if we continue to listen to the prophets and to study, I think the most important thing coming out of the last General Conference was the repeated call for calm and peace during what we were told was going to be continued turmoil, and in particular President Nelson's admonition to the church to study the covenants that the Lord has made with the house of Israel, and that if we would do so, we would be astonished. And I want to echo his words. We need to understand what's going on, and there's three things that we need to understand if we're to understand what's going on all around us today. The first is that the events of the latter days are being shaped by secret combinations. The second is that a powerful Antichrist is coming, and he is going to be unlike anything the world has seen before. And he is going to cause, if it's possible, even the very elect according to the covenant to abandon their faith. So you need to get right with the Lord. You need to have the constant companionship of the Holy Ghost to guide you. And if you don't, like President Nelson said, you will not survive what's coming. And then the third thing that you need to understand to be able to put all of these events in perspective is what the restoration of the house of Israel means. It's more than just gathering scattered Israel from all the nations of the earth And that's why President Nelson asked us to study these things. So I've done some other videos. I'm not going to rehash that. I will let you know if you are interested in understanding these things. I have made my book, A Remnant Shall Return, available for free for audio download. Just go to my website, thelost10tribes.com. Find the audio version, not the audio physical book combo, but just the audio version of A Remnant Shall Return. Put it in your checkout box, and then when you're checking out, right at the end, a little coupon, an area for you to enter in a coupon will come up, and type in Covenant 2020, Covenant with a capital C, and that will give you that download for free. And remember, you need to download it to a computer. If you want to download it to an iPhone, you need to download it to a computer first, then add it to iTunes, and then upload it to your iPhone that way. I encourage you to listen to that book if you have not yet. It will really help you to understand the covenants that the Lord has made with the house of Israel and why those are so important for us to understand. So until next time, God bless and buckle up. Bye.